A 6-year-old Kentucky boy killed during an overnight burglary, and we've learned his accused killer is a man from the north side of Indianapolis. 32-year-old Ronald Exantis is a registered nurse here in Indianapolis who state officials say didn't have any complaints against him. Police in Versailles, Kentucky say Exantis broke into a home early this morning and stabbed 6-year-old Logan Tipton to death with a kitchen knife. Exantis struggled with the boy's father, who held him for police. He is under arrest for murder and burglary.
You know, anytime something like this happens in our community, it's tragic. When it happens to a child who is, not able to defend himself or is too young to defend himself, it obviously hits home for a lot of us as police officers.
Ronald Exantis was in court today in Kentucky, where a plea of not guilty was entered on his behalf. He is being held on a $1 million bond. Prosecutors say Exantis was traveling through the area when he stopped. Police say he did not know the victim's family. No word yet on why he allegedly stabbed the young boy.
It didn't take long for people to begin showing their support for Logan Tipton's family. In less than 12 hours, a GoFundMe page has already raised more than $20,000 for the little boy's funeral. And tonight, the community gathered for a vigil at Falling Springs Park football field in Versailles. Sean Moody was there. He continues our team coverage.
It might not seem possible to brighten a day like this, but the people of Versailles had to try on the Tipton family's darkest day.
He's not right. He's not right. As a father, your job is to protect your children.
Logan's dad, Dean, called his daughter a hero.
This girl right here, my oldest daughter, fought this guy off until I could get upstairs. She fought this grown man trying to kill him until I got upstairs.
But not before 6-year-old Logan was killed.
I wasn't quick enough to get to Logan.
A lot of the people out there on the field didn't know the Tiptons, but they felt drawn there anyway. The family thanked them all for coming out, and Logan's mom, Heather, had a request.
Got something I want everybody to help me with.
She said Logan was afraid of the dark, so she'd comfort him by singing Silent Night.
I'd like everybody to please help me sing that just one last time for me. Silent night, holy night.
All those candles won't burn forever. It'll take a lot more love from the community to keep the Tiptons out of the dark.
The Indiana man suspected in the brutal killing of a Central Kentucky boy was back in front of a judge today.
Police say Ronald Exantis stabbed Logan Tipton to death during a home invasion in Versailles last month. He is facing capital murder, burglary, and assault charges. WKYT's Hillary Thornton is in Versailles now with the latest on the case, and that is our top story at noon. Hillary?
1 month ago, 6-year-old Logan Tipton was stabbed to death while sleeping inside of his Versailles home. Today, the man accused of murdering the little boy went before a judge, entering a not guilty plea. It was a tense morning inside the courtroom as the Tipton family filled the first 2 rows. It was their first time seeing the man accused of killing their little Logan. The circuit court arraignment for Exantis held inside of the district court building, a decision the Woodford County Sheriff says was made out of safety concerns for Exantis and the families involved. Sheriff Wayne Wright says the building is easier to monitor and also easier to move Exantis in and out of. Once inside of the courtroom, the attorney for Exantis entered a not guilty plea. She also asked that any evidence the Commonwealth has be turned over as soon as possible so they can really start preparing for what she says is not a typical murder case.
This case is very anomalous. It's unlike any of the 8 capital cases that I represent. This gentleman has absolutely no ties to this family, no ties to Kentucky. He's never been in Kentucky except to drive through it, to my knowledge, to get to Florida. And we know nothing. Our client's not able to really tell us much of anything. He's mainly delusional. When he's not delusional, it's been very difficult to communicate with him.
Now, as for the mental state of Exantis, his attorney says she cannot comment on what, if any, treatment or evaluations he has been through. She did, however, say that he was, quote, actively psychotic when booked into the jail, and she says she does not believe he has been himself since she met him that day.
Exantis' trial is now underway in Lexington.
His lawyers admit Exantis
fatally stabbed 6-year-old Logan Tipton in Versailles in 2015, but they want the jury to understand why they say it happened. Exantis is accused of driving from his home in Indianapolis, choosing a home at random in Versailles, breaking in, getting a knife in the kitchen, going upstairs, and stabbed the child to death while he slept. The trial was moved to Lexington due to publicity. ABC 36's Kelsey Thord takes you inside the courtroom to show you what happened.
It was an emotional day here at the courthouse as Logan Tipton's family took the stand for the very first time, describing in detail the events that led up to Logan's horrific murder while his accused killer sat silent just feet away.
Dean, do you see the man in the courtroom today?
Yes, I do.
Could you point him out for us?
That's him right there.
Tense moments in the courtroom Monday as Dean Tipton, Logan's father, took the stand, describing what happened after his kids woke him up in a panic in the middle of the night in December of 2015.
I hustle up to the top of the stairs, and when I get to the top of the stairs, he's standing there, and he's coming down with a knife to try to stab me with a knife.
You with a knife?
Yes.
Tipton says he fought with Exantis for what felt like a lifetime before police showed up and arrested Exantis. And that's when Tipton said he realized Logan was hurt.
And it wasn't 10 seconds later. He looked hurt, glanced up at me, closed his eyes, and that was it. He died in my arms.
During opening statements, Exantis' attorneys did not deny their client killed Logan Tipton, but say it was due to a psychotic break and are arguing Exantis is not guilty by reason of insanity. Now, this is expected to be a long trial. The court has it scheduled to go on for about another 3 weeks, and if at the end of that Exantis is found guilty, he could face the death penalty.
The jury is recommending the maximum prison sentence for Ronald Exantis after finding him not guilty of the most serious charge against him. The jury has asked the judge to sentence Exantis to 20 years in prison for charges related to the murder of 6-year-old Logan Tipton. ABC 36's Kelsey Thord was back in the courtroom today. She's live with more.
Amber, like you said, the jury is asking a judge sentence Ronald Exantis to 20 years in prison. That's for 3 assault charges he was found guilty but mentally ill for in relation to Logan Tipton's murder. Now, all of this comes just less than a day after the jury spent close to 12 hours deliberating the verdict in this case, ultimately finding Exantis not guilty by reason of insanity for the 2 greater charges, the actual murder of Logan Tipton, as well as for the burglary charge he faced for breaking into the Tipton home. Now, the jury did, however, find Exantis guilty but mentally ill of those 3 lesser assault charges. Those charges carried a minimum sentence of 5 years in prison and a maximum of 20 years. The jury recommended the maximum, a decision Logan Tipton's mother accepted but isn't fully happy with.
I'm glad he at least got something that was the maximum that he could get. Unfortunately, the jury failed us in the murder of Logan, but we're not done. We're not finished. There will be more to come of this.
Now, that more Heather is talking about is some sort of victims' rights bill that she says she hopes to help craft in the future to help protect what she calls more vulnerable victims like young children and the elderly. Now, Exantis' sentencing hearing, the official hearing, will be on April 24th back in Woodford County where this crime happened. And even if a judge sentences Exantis to that 20-year recommended sentence, he could still come up for parole as early as December of next year.